There is a type of person who seems to have an internal automatic yes button. Have you ever noticed how some people accept every request, take on every task, say of course even when they are drowning? While most of us hesitate before committing time or energy, they act as if the word no simply doesn't exist in their vocabulary. But behind this constant availability often hides a complex web of emotions, fears, and beliefs that few people truly understand. First of all, it's important to say, there's nothing wrong with being helpful. The world needs generous people, who care and are willing to help. But when yes becomes a reflex, almost a compulsion, it's a sign that something deeper is at play. Maybe you know someone like that. Or perhaps, when you read this, you recognize yourself in this description. If this is the case, know that you are not weak, nor lazy, nor soft. You just learned, at some point in your life, that saying no was more dangerous than saying yes. To understand why this happens, we need to go back to childhood. Children who grow up in environments where love was conditional, where the approval of parents, teachers, or caregivers depended on good behavior, high grades, or blind obedience, learn a cruel lesson early. To be loved means to be useful. If you were praised only when you did something for others, your brain internalized the equation, I am worth what I give, not what I am. Over time, this belief turns into emotional autopilot. Every yes is a desperate attempt to ensure that you won't be abandoned. But it's not just childhood experiences that shape this pattern. Many people develop the inability to say no in adulthood, after trauma, toxic relationships, or abusive work environments. Imagine someone who, when refusing a request, has heard phrases like "you're selfish," "no one else will help you," or "without you, this won't happen." Over time, the brain associates no with guilt, rejection, or even punishment. It's as if there's an internal alarm that goes off whenever a person thinks about setting a limit. Danger. If you say no, you'll lose everything. The curious thing is that, behind this apparent generosity, there is often a silent anger hidden. Those who never say no end up building up resentment. After all, they are always doing things they don't want to do, while their own needs are ignored. This anger, however, is rarely directed at where it really should be, at oneself. Because, deep down, the person who cannot refuse is, above all, betraying their own limits. She knows she is overloading herself, that she is always putting others ahead, but the fear of disappointing is stronger than the desire to respect herself. And here we come to a fascinating paradox. Those who don't know how to say no are often seen as nice, but they are, in fact, being selfish in a disguised way. Like this. Because by avoiding conflicts at any cost, this person lets others dictate the rules of their life. She gives up her time, her energy, her dreams, just to maintain an image of someone who is always available. But at the end of the day, no one wins from this. The others receive help from someone who is emotionally drained, and she herself lives a life that is not really hers. There is also a cultural component to all of this. In many societies, saying no is almost taboo. We are taught that refusing is rude, that we should always help, that those who don't cooperate are not well regarded. But this social pressure ignores a crucial detail. A yes given out of obligation is not generosity, it is submission. And constant submission, in addition to being exhausting, erodes self-esteem. Because every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're sending a message to yourself, my desires don't matter. So, how to get out of this cycle? The first step is to recognize that saying no is not an act of selfishness, but of self-preservation. It's like putting on an oxygen mask on a plane before helping others. If you don't take care of yourself first, you won't be able to take care of anyone else. Start small. Say no to things that don't have major consequences, an invitation that doesn't interest you, a favor that doesn't directly affect you. Notice how you feel. At first, there may be guilt, anxiety, even fear. But over time, you'll realize something surprising. The world doesn't fall apart when you set limits. On the contrary, people begin to respect you more, because they begin to understand that your time and energy have value. And here's the most freeing truth of all. When you learn to say no, you are actually saying yes to yourself. Yes to your well-being, yes to your priorities, yes to a life that makes sense to you. It's not about turning your back on others, but choosing to help when it's genuine, not out of obligation. Because true generosity is not born from fear, but from the freedom to choose. If you identify with this, know that you are not alone. Millions of people struggle with this same challenge every day. And the good news is that, just as you learn to say yes automatically, you can relearn how to say no with kindness, firmness, and, above all, self-love. So, the next time someone asks you for something and you feel that tightness in your chest, take a deep breath and remember, you don't have to carry the world on your shoulders. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply say, "I'm sorry, but this time I won't be able to handle it." And it's okay. More than fine, it is necessary. Did you like this reflection? If you also have difficulty saying no, comment below. What else stops you from setting limits? Share this text with anyone who needs to hear this today. And if you want more content like this, turn on notifications so you don't miss future publications. Until next time, and remember, your no could be the yes your soul has been waiting for. Continuation of the original text, expanded with engagement techniques. But why is it so hard to say no? The answer lies not only in the education we receive, be kind, always help, but in something deeper, the fear of being seen as selfish, incompetent or, worse, of being abandoned. As children, we learn that love and acceptance are often linked to doing what others expect. If I say no, they'll like me less. This belief, even unconscious, takes root as a script that we repeat in adult life. And here's the paradox. When we say yes out of obligation, we are actually saying no to ourselves. Every time we ignore our limits, we are sending a message to our subconscious. Your needs don't matter as much as anyone else's. Over time, this turns into silent resentment, exhaustion, or even physical illness. Yes, the body demands what the mind shuts up. Think about it. If a friend came to you and said, "I'm feeling burnt out, but I can't stop helping others," what would you respond? Probably something like, "You need to take care of yourself too." Why, then, don't we say this to ourselves with the same conviction? The power of no as an act of love. Yes, you read that right. Saying no is not an act of rejection, it is an act of preservation. It's like putting oxygen into yourself before helping someone else breathe. When you set limits, you are saying, "I respect myself enough not to overwhelm myself. My energy is valuable, and I choose where to invest it. My yes has more weight when it's not automatic." And here's an uncomfortable truth. The people who truly care about you aren't going to disappear because you said no once. Those who disappear are those who were only there for what you could offer, and, frankly, they don't deserve space in your life. How to say no without guilt, AG. Practical guide for generous souls. If you're one of those people who have felt your stomach turn at the thought of refusing a request, here are 3 tested strategies to start practicing today. 1. The no with alternative, for those who are afraid of disappointing. I won't be able to help with this project right now, but I can recommend someone who can support you. Why it works: you don't leave the person in a vacuum, but you also don't take responsibility. 2. The no with delay, to save time and avoid impulsive responses. Let me check my schedule and I'll get back to you by tomorrow. Why it works: it breaks the yes autopilot and gives you space to evaluate whether it fits into your life. 3. The direct, but gentle, no, for situations that leave no room. I'm sorry, but I won't make it this time. Thank you for thinking of me. Why it works: firmness plus gratitude equals a combination that disarms even the most insistent. Bonus tip: if guilt hits later, ask yourself, if I were sick, would I say yes to this? The answer will show you how distorted your scale of priorities is. What happens when you start saying no? Get ready, because the results may surprise you. Your mental energy increases. Fewer obligations equals more space for what really matters. Your relationships become more authentic. Those who stay are because they like you, not what you do for them. You attract better opportunities. When you stop saying yes out of fear, you open the door to what you really want. Your self-esteem grows. Every no is a reminder that you deserve respect, including your own. And the most ironic: people start to value you more. Because, deep down, we all respect those who have clear limits, even if we unconsciously envy that courage. An invitation to rewrite your history. Imagine a year from now. You look back and see less emotional hangover from having said yes when you wanted to say no. More pride in yourself for honoring your limits. lighter relationships, because you finally stopped sacrificing yourself to be accepted. That future starts today, with a single no, even if it's a small one. A no for the happy hour you don't want to go to. A no to the favor that will drain your energy. A no to the guilt that insists on haunting you. Your turn. The 7-day challenge. How about an experiment? Over the next 7 days, say no to at least one thing you would do out of obligation. It could be an invitation, a request, an extra task. Notice how you feel afterwards. Note. What changed in your mood? How did the other person react? Spoiler, 90% of the time, it's not the end of the world. What did you get in return? Time, peace, self-confidence. Share in the comments, what was your no and how did you feel? Let's create a wave of collective liberation because, yes, you are not alone in this. To reflect and carry in the soul. Saying yes to everything is saying no to your own life. Unknown, but it should be you. If this text resonated with you, save it to your favorites to reread when guilt arises. Share with that friend who always says yes and then complains. And, of course, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next reflections, because your journey of self-discovery deserves company. Until next time. And remember, every no you say today is a yes for the future you deserve. P.S. If you've made it this far, it's because it makes sense to you. What will be the first no you will practice? Leave it below and let's celebrate this courage together. Yellow Heart. Why this text works, analysis of techniques used. 1. Wave structure. It starts with a provocative question, why is it so difficult? Delves into the root causes, fear of abandonment, childhood beliefs, offers practical solutions, the 3 types of no, and ends with a concrete challenge, 7 days, plus empowering message. 2. Emotional engagement. Validation C. Constant. If you are one of those people who has ever felt their stomach turn, the reader feels seen. Impactful contrast. Saying yes to everything is saying no to your own life. Viral phrase. Projective story. Imagine a year from now, makes the reader visualize benefits. 3. Layered call to action, CTA. Reflection. What will be your first no? Sharing. Share with that friend. Concrete action. 7-day challenge. Continuous engagement. Turn on notifications. 4. Tone. Intimate. Let's create a wave of collective liberation. Plus direct. This future starts today. Visual metaphors. Like getting oxygen into yourself before helping someone else breathe. 5. High-impact phrases. Those who disappear are those who were only there for what you could offer. Every no you say today is a yes for the future you deserve. How to adapt this template for other themes. Theme. Why do we postpone our goals? Hook. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to postpone your dreams, but not those of others? Causes. Fear of failure, perfectionism, wrong prioritization. Solution. 2-minute rule. If it takes less than that, do it now. Viral quote. Procrastinating is betraying your future for the sake of the comfort of the present. Theme. Why do we compare ourselves so much? Hook. Scroll through your social media feed and count how many times you felt less than today. Causes. Culture of productivity, lack of self-acceptance. Solution. List of things that only I know how to do, to remember the uniqueness. Viral quote. Comparison is the rogue that steals your joy without you realizing it. Final tip for writing like this. 1. Start with universal pain. Everyone has felt guilty about saying no. 2. Dismantle the limiting belief. Saying yes is not kindness, it is self-harm. 3. Offer a practical way forward, the 3 types of no. 4. End with hope plus action. Your future starts today. 5. Use metaphors that hurt and heal, e.g. oxygen before helping others. Now it's up to you. What real-life theme would you turn into a text like this? Write in the comments, who knows, maybe it will become our next content. Winking face. Theme. Why we keep things we don't use, and how it affects our lives. Have you ever opened your closet and found a pile of clothes with tags, gifts you never used or objects that will one day be useful? We accumulate as if the future were an apocalypse of scarcity. But isn't the problem the fear of letting go, and what does that say about us? It's not just a mess. It's a collection of what-ifs. What if I need this dress in 5 years? What if that book is useful in an existential crisis? What if, what if, what if? We become curators of a museum of possibilities, where each object is an unfulfilled promise. But behind this accumulation, something deeper hides. 1. The fear of forgetting and being forgotten. Those yellowed notes, the teddy bear, your ex's shirt. They're not things. They are anchors. We keep it because we're afraid that if we throw it away, the memory or the person will disappear for good. The brain whispers, if you don't have proof, it's as if you never existed. 2. The illusion of the future self. We buy courses that we never take, clothes that we don't wear, pans that we don't use, because our tomorrow self is an improved version, thinner, more disciplined, happier. But this self is not enough. And we get stuck in the limbo of almost, surrounded by things that represent who we wanted to be but aren't. 3. Guilt disguised as utility. That was expensive, it was a gift, it might be useful one day. We confuse sentimental value with obligation. As if throwing away an object was betraying the person who gave it to us or admitting that we were wrong to buy it. Spoiler, we're not cheating. We're just freeing up space, physical and mental. What does this accumulation rob you of? Energy. Everything saved is a postponed decision. Your brain gas. It's so strong just looking at them. Freedom. The more you keep, the more stuck in the past you become. And less space is left for the new one. Self-knowledge. Objects are mirrors. If you only keep what could be useful, you ask, what does that say about how you see yourself? The memory box method. To let go without guilt. 1. Separate what is memory from what is trash. Keep a box, just one, with really meaningful items, photos, letters, one object per loved one. The rest. Take a photo and let it go. The memory is not in the thing, it is in you. 2. The 6-month rule. If you haven't used it, haven't worn it, haven't read it or haven't needed it in half a year, it's not a priority. Point. 3. The relief test. Hold the object and ask, if I threw this away right now, would I feel lighter or more anxious? If it's relief, it's a sign that he's already fulfilled his role. The truth that no one tells you. You are not what you have. You are what you live, what you feel, what you choose today. That pile of unpassed things is just that, a pile. Not your identity, not your value. And when you let go, you're not losing. You are recovering. The time I spent reorganizing what I don't need. Space for what really matters. The courage to live in the present, not the what ifs of the past or future. Phrase to take away. We keep things as if we were immortal, but life doesn't fit in boxes. It fits in choices. Now it's up to you. 1. What object have you kept for years just by chance? Comment here. Sometimes, just by writing, we already understand why it doesn't let go. 2. Have you tried the box method? Tell us how it was. 3. Share with those who need to hear that letting go isn't forgetting, it's making room for what's yet to come. And if this text made sense, save it. Not to read one day, but to start today. Herb. Why does this format work? Universal pain. Everyone has that drawer or that closet. Deconstruction. Shows that the problem is not the mess, but the fear behind it. Practical solution. The box method is concrete and emotionally safe. Empowerment. Transforms cleaning into an act of self-knowledge. Engaging CTA. Asks for immediate action, comment, try, share, plus final metaphor. Life doesn't fit into boxes. Next topic suggestion, for you to test the format. Why do we say I'm busy like it's a trophy, and what it hides? Hook. How are you? Running, right? Always 1,000 things. We talk as if being busy were synonymous with importance. But isn't it just fear of stopping? Causes. Fear of emptiness. Culture of toxic productivity, self-esteem tied to being useful. Solution. The white time rule, schedule nothing on the calendar. Viral phrase, busy is not status. It's just the excuse we give for not facing life head-on. Bonus tip. Whenever you write, ask. 1. What emotion do I want the reader to feel? In this case, relief plus courage. 2. What concrete action can he take today? Here, separate the memory box. 3. How to transform the theme into a visual metaphor. X. Life doesn't fit into boxes. The more specific and sensorial, the more the text sticks. Rocket.